Last summer, we started to reclaim 2 acres of pasture land to ensure that our cows have more grass to eat. This past year, as our cows were getting bigger and bigger, we noticed that these 4 pieces, and of course the extra piece around the Quonset, that it definitely wasn't enough for their needs. And so, beside some grain that they receive, we also have to feed them hay. And of course, feeding hay in the summer is expensive and should technically be not a priority, should not be a necessity, but for us it is. And so these 4 pieces, even though still useful in the spring, we hope to have 2 acres set up and ready to go for grazing this year. In the spring, we're going to be starting to reclaim another 8 acres for grazing and haying purposes, because we have successfully turned 2 acres into grassland. We're going to be adding 8 more acres for a total of 10 acres, so that we will have plenty of grass, plenty of hay, and probably also some straw for self-sufficiency purposes for our cows and our pigs. So the idea is to eventually not having to rely on neighbors, even though it's great to be able to rely on them. We want to make sure we can grow our own food, not just for us, but also for our animals. So that's what we're going to be working on in 2025. We already had this greenhouse, so this year we definitely want to be more successful in starting off seedlings and growing plants inside this greenhouse. So we're thinking of putting special lights, LED lights inside our greenhouse here, and hook up the hydro from our pump house and have some heat, so that even though here in Saskatchewan winter seems to drag on into April, sometimes into May with snow and cold days and rainy weather, we hope to get some heat and some light in here and be more successful in growing seedlings before they go into our garden. "2025 plan is also to create in this area about a 20-foot long grow tunnel. So originally I was thinking of building it from scrap materials, but I've seen already that it is much cheaper just to buy one small one and have some materials with it, rather than trying to do it yourself. So yeah, that's one of the plans that we have right here, is to get a small grow tunnel. Additionally, we have these ICB totes that we cleaned out last year and stored some water in temporarily. We emptied it out before winter, but to make these as collection facilities for our grow garden. So you can see right here, in the spring of this year, in March, I started building these planter boxes that are now buried under the snow. And for 2025, the plan is to add more to them. It was quite a success this year, so we feel that it would be beneficial to have a few more. So on the back side of this, where I did my science experiment with the beans, we're gonna create another area similar to the one we built in spring of 2024. So we'll add probably another 12 grow boxes, planter boxes, right in this area. And this will then be used to grow potatoes. This year the potato harvest was an absolute failure. We got nothing out of the potatoes this year. So we hope this year, by enclosing this, creating nice planter boxes to grow the potatoes in the planter boxes, and then the center area we'll probably do beans like I was growing them in my science experiment. So there is still the idea to possibly change it over and do potatoes in these boxes and the beans in this center area, and then of course do the new planter boxes, do our tomatoes and beans and beets and whatnot. So yeah, these are all plans that we have for 2025 as it comes to the garden, is we need to get more efficient, less weeding, and better production, because potatoes this year was absolutely nothing. We started off well and then suddenly it got dry. We tried to water it, but there definitely is just not any possibility to actually water it and be successful. So that's something that needs to be improved. So hopefully this year potatoes and the rest of the garden will be even a better success than it was this year. 2025 will also hopefully be the year that we replace the shingles on the roof of our garage. There's definitely damage, some slight leaking inside. So this will be one of the priorities, hopefully in May and June, if they're not as wet as they were last year. Also, these windows are hopefully going to be replaced. Not only do we have to do a shingling job for our garage, this shop that we have here, which used to be in ancient time the blacksmith shop, this also desperately needs a new roof. We managed to successfully paint it this year, do some slight repairs on the doors as well as the side. But the big job for 2025 here will be to do a lot of shingling. And so the garage is one of the jobs, and then this shop will be our second one. Additionally, our Massey Harris needs to be repaired and be brought to life this year as well. So there's a challenge to get some repairs done on this tractor and get it back running. 2025 will also be the year that we're going to have to finish this shop slash do-it-yourself garage that we started to build in the fall. We weren't able to finish it, but we got the structure up and most of the stuff is ready. So we'll have to finish it. Got to build our doors. You can see we're going to be building insulated doors. And so then my son can be working here in his garage, work on his trucks and cars. So hydro will be put in, insulation will be put in. We finish off the floor by putting in concrete. My son also picked up a car lift, so he can pick up his cars and trucks, and of course easily do tire changes and oil changes and all the other things that go with car and truck repair. So this is another one of those projects that were started in 2024, but of course now need to be finished. So 2025 will be the year that we can actually get that up and running. So in 2025, if we have the financial means, we hope that we can attach a watering line underground from this pump house to the old well that is in here, and then create an outside water hose, permanent water hose outside the barn here, so that we can actually have water easily accessed with the garden hose into our barn, of course easily into our turkey coop and run, as well as our chicken coop and run. So that's the plan if we have the financial means to actually work on that in 2025. Now, we had mentioned before that of course we have shingling to do, and one of the shingling jobs also left to do is this granary here. This was the housing where our kuni pigs stayed in during the night, and then we're out in their run area for the summer. Now of course we house them in the barn to keep them nice and warm with the cows. But this is what still needs to be shingled as well. So this is another shingling job that we have left to do. And we have a neighbor farmer who's willing to lend us his equipment so that we can get to the top barn of the barn here, and we can focus on replacing those windows, painting the underhang, fixing up some shingles on the top that are coming loose. And so yeah, hopefully in 2025 we can complete the painting job that we started last year already. This year we didn't get a chance to touch it. And we also have windows that are in dire need of replacing. So the windows are bought, we've got them already, but you can see that we have to install them. So you see here there's already a window pane that was broken out, and so you have to board it up with wood. So that's another big job. Then 2025 needs to see a repair of this sliding door. The beam on which the sliding door is hanging is rotting out, and birds are nesting inside of it. So that's not a good thing, so that has to come off and needs to be replaced. So that will be a 2025 job. And you can see here we have definitely a lot more painting to do here. Now, the fortunate part here is the overhang and underhang we can paint easily white. The boards can be painted red very easily, and there's no windows here. So that should be a little bit easier side to do, but yet the height, we need a lift, and that's what our neighbor farmer is going to hopefully provide for us this summer. So there's another project for 2025. So you can see we started here in the fall of 2021. Didn't get much to do then, but definitely now in 2025 we should hopefully get most of the project finished and repaired. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video.